Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dennis and welcome back to Racer or Random SCP Review. Previously on SCP-3300 or SCP that is called The Rain. And to summary, pretty much the SCP is just a location in Clearwater, Montana, in which when the rain or the event of 3300 occurs, which is the rain, people got what is it people got changed or converted into some other uh, appearance or characters pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Every time it rains, the people change, the residents of the city change, and that's pretty much it. And here we were ending in a journal. However, over here, I think, yeah, this one. The writer of the document has been identified as Margaret Lane. The event described in the journal are unverified. So, it's just a journal, but no one has verified if it's true or not. However, it doesn't mean that this is a fake story made by the person. Um, they cannot confirm that maybe it's fake, but it doesn't necessarily have has to be fake even when they consider this as unverified. This can still be happening, but they cannot just verify that whatsoever because you know um, trying to understand anything from this location is kind of still underway, yeah, like over here. So there's that, but for now I will just presume that this journal is true, made by someone that is actually experiencing this from the perspective of the person, or the dash one instances from the inside pretty much. Like maybe this person actually has some sort of awareness, consciousness that something might going on over here, something's going on, and yeah, there is something to it pretty much. Okay, let's actually continue with this one. Repeat this journal over here because previously I didn't actually finish this. So yeah, I don't think it's ever stormed this hard in my life. It's 2 in the afternoon, but looking outside, you'd swear it was midnight. My throat is starting to get sore from shouting over the noise. No idea what the hell happened. 1 minute it was drizzling, the next someone flipped a switch to dump the entire Pacific Ocean onto our heads. Internet and phone are completely down. This I also mentioned about internet and phone being available in 1995, which is a little bit unusual. So there is that, which I also made theory about, that the person or the people are actually swapped with people from the past. So there is that pretty much. Um, so yeah, that's just what I thought though. Um, the few seconds of clear radio we can get is just a barrage of tornado and flood warnings. Nothing to do but hole up inside and see how many games of Monopoly we can play until mom kills me or I kill you. Okay, I swear some of the people in this town must be absolutely insane because sometimes when lightning flashes, I can see them walking around outside. Some of them just standing there, which is a little bit weird and creepy. Um, yeah, usually when there is thunderstorm, people don't just hanging outside because for one, they can get struck by the lightning, and for two, it must have been a little bit weird as well because remember that this is storm, so there is like wind, there's like water as well. So sometimes the wind can get strong, and uh, rain with wind force can feel like a paper cut in your skin. So at least there's that. So yeah, it's a little bit creepy, I would say. Like it's actually raining right now in my area, and it's the raining season, and I will be a little bit concerned if during this one of these lightning storm or thunderstorm, someone just randomly like chill outside, like maybe in the middle of the park or just yeah standing in the rain pretty much, which is a little bit creepy, I would say. um, there must have been something to it. I'm okay. Next journal. I'm reading this from the back of Jared's van, and we're going like 80 miles an hour down the highway, and Isabel's crying next to me, and I don't know what the what the fuck is going on. I think I'm going to die. I'm going to keep writing though. My hand shakes less when I write. Ah, okay. So the person kind of calms herself or themselves by writing. Okay, interesting. This is also interesting as well because if you're panic, I feel like someone always has that comfortable zone in which they can do or activity they can do and they can just ignore about their problem so that they can be less panic. For me though, what is that? What are things that make me from panic into less panic? I think maybe games, maybe like phone games, because whenever I play games or whenever I'm doing anything with my phone, actually I feel a little less panic. um I'm not sure actually. Well, it's about panic. So when I was panic, I kind of don't know what I was doing though. But I feel like looking at the phone kind of reassure myself about not to being panic because sometimes when I panic, I try to find the answers in Google as well. Like for instance, there's about an interview that's about to going on with me. So I got a little bit panic, but then I can just take my phone and then search Google for, like for instance, um, questions that might be asked during interview, and then I can basically learn myself. So maybe learning is the way I cope with panic with things. Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah, just being an overthinker. That's why. Yeah, I would consider myself as an overthinker, and I don't consider that as weakness. I would say that's actually a strength that I use to actually some of the, the things that are in this channel pretty much like reviewing SCP, making podcast, and then something else. Just um, it kind of calms me down pretty much. But yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on with Sam, Jared, not Sam. Who is it again? Margaret, Jared, and someone else. Who is it? Isabel's. Okay. It couldn't have been more than an hour ago that this happened. We were all at my place. Sam, Jared, Mike, and Isabel had all come over. I hadn't expected them, but Jared insisted he wasn't going to let something tiny like a biblical flood stop us from exploring the bottom levels of the Dread Lich Arsganoth domain. Stupid, stupid. So we rolled up and started playing like everything was normal. Sam DMing with the stupid little monsters action she does. Isabel and Mike are going over every scrap of treasure and possible trap we came across. Jared struggling just to keep us all from killing each other. Mom in the other room pretending she wasn't listening in. Oh, in the other room, I thought you were in a fan, or maybe they just reach to the, yeah, maybe they just um maybe oh, it's a fan, maybe it's like another section, like fan has section pretty much, so maybe there's that. I'm not sure what it means by room pretty much. um so we rolled up and started playing like everything was normal. Sam DMing with the stupid, okay. Pretend she wasn't listening in. It was Isabel who first noticed the banging on the door, like someone trying to break it down. At first, we weren't sure what to do. I mean, anyone banging that hard on your door so late is going to be suspicious, even if there's not a fucking hurricane outside, right? So we just sort of sat there staring at each other until Jared got up and grabbed a poker from the fireplace and went to check the peephole. I wonder what his first thought was: surprise, confusion? Did he just accept it like I did, to stand by the weirdness to question when he opened the door and saw a family on our porch? A mom, dad, two kids. I'd never seen any of them before. For a second, we all just stared at each other, and then the dad shoved past Jared and said, "Why are you in my house?" Oh, okay, interesting. Um, I actually have a theory as well about this. So, do you guys know the concept of multiverse? In this universe, maybe you are you, maybe in the other universe, you are someone else. Maybe in this universe, the house you're currently living in is yours, but maybe in other universe, it belongs to someone else, and that you're from somewhere else. I actually think about this weird enough last year, December, I think, about the possibility of, because of the multiverse kind of stuff that's currently going on with the Marvel movies. So, I was thinking about what happened if suddenly our universe got mixed up with other universe. So, partially, like let's say, suddenly I go out, and then when I go back in, there is already people inside the house, and then that I was confused as to why are they in my house, and why, like, why are things looking differently, and then I, try to ask for my neighbors, but my neighbors don't know me at all, so that's a little bit interesting as well. And then when I then I decided to travel outside, and I met someone random in the street, and they know who I am. So, that sort of stuff, pretty much. Also, what happened when, like, let's say there is like, usually there's a park here in the complex or nearby the house, but suddenly the multiverse got mixed up, and then the park is now not the park. The park is now, let's say, I don't know, like, a building of, let's say, a house, pretty much. And then, a place that used to be house is now a river, for instance. Like, those kind of stuff. So it I think about that. I thought about that actually, like, earlier this year or last year, pretty much. But the fact that this is SCP-3300, it means that this was way, way before that, like literally years ago. So yeah, this is interesting because back then I don't think there's a concept of multiverse just yet. Well, there was, but it's not as abrupt or as popular as nowadays, I don't think. So yeah, having this concept itself is kind of interesting. Anyway, um, Mom had come out of her room when she first heard knocking. When the guy said that, she flipped out instantly. What do you mean your house, asshole? This is my house. What the hell are you doing just barging in here? I swear to God, you've got 10 seconds before I get the cops over here. God, I remember being annoyed, embarrassed, wishing she wouldn't flip out over everything. The dad's expression didn't change. He stepped forward again, and Jared tried to hold him back. When he did, the dad just flung him, snagged Jared by the collar, and tossed him through the living room into the kitchen. Jared smacked into a counter and went limp. And the dad said again in the exact tone, "Why are you in my house?" That was when Mom charged him with a golf club. He barely had time to react before she swung it into his chest. For a second, she looked pleased with herself. I'm sure she was already forming the story to tell to tell all her friends about how she fought off the home invader. When she tried to pull the golf club back and she couldn't, the expression disappeared. The guy didn't look a little bit hurt, not even phased. The club was stuck in his chest, and the skin around it was rippling, like when you throw a stone into a pond. Water dripped out from the where the metal entered skin. Okay, that's random. Mom stared, then she screamed, fell back, scrambling at the floor to get away. The man looked down at the club with the same expression you might look at that cockroach. He grasped it right below where it speared into him, yanked it from his chest, held it as he walked towards Mom. She stopped moving the first time he hit her in the head. She just fell like a rock, and he hit her again and again and again, and the whole time he was saying, my house, in the same fucking tone. The only fucking way he knew how to speak, and the kids were standing in the door just watching, and the wife was holding them close, and I swear to God she was smiling. Sam stood up like she was going to charge the guy, but Mike wrapped himself around her and said, "Don't." That we had to run, so we did. Mike and Sam grabbed Jared even though he wasn't moving, and I grabbed the journal without even thinking about it. And I don't really remember anything after that except Sam driving and crying and Mike screaming, and all I could think about was the way Mom's body looked as she fell. the light disappearing from her eyes before her body hit the floor. We drove right to the police station. Me and Mike decided to go inside while Sam and Isabel watched Jared. The lights were on, but the station was locked with no one inside. We walked around, looked through every window, nothing. When we got back to the car, Jared still wasn't awake and his breathing was all fucked up. So we discussed it and decided to take him in the hospital in Lanhart. It's only a 2 hour drive. We should be there soon. It will be okay. I also actually just got realized that this also can be some sort of, do you know the movie Us, the US or Us? um, it's about a double pretty much, or a doppelganger. So this can be that as well, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, we've been driving for 6 hours now. Also, I just noticed that this was pretty much Margaret tried to write what's going on, right? So it's not actually live, but it's, she is pretty much describing what just happened while in the van going outside. So yeah, we've been driving for 6 hours now. We're almost out of gas. Jared still isn't awake, and we haven't made it to Landhard yet. Okay, this is interesting because they have traveled 6 hours, but they haven't reached the hospital. Like, where are they? Like, exactly. It's just supposed to be a small town or city, right? The Clearwater in Montana. But why is it that it feels like they drive too long? Also, why didn't they just ask help for people outside? Maybe maybe people outside also had similar situation, in which something went weird happened to them, and then they can pretty much like gang up or something. But that's just my opinion though. But yeah, it's a little bit weird that 6 hours and they haven't reached the hospital just yet. Like, how far could a hospital be? So yeah, um, we've doubled back twice, looked for road signs, building lights, anything to tell us where the fuck we are, but there's nothing, no signs, no cities, not even a gas station. Oh, never mind, it just got mentioned. The city also changed pretty much. Okay, we haven't passed another car since we left my house. Okay, that also answered my question about other people outside. So yeah, there is no one. Okay, not even a gas station. We haven't passed another car since we left my house. The rain's falling just as hard out here. Mike says we need to turn around, try to get back to town before we get stranded. Isabel says that's crazy. We need to keep looking for the hospital, and we don't have enough to make it back anyway. Sam says he's going to keep driving. That's all we can do at this point. Yeah, that's actually a good call because you know that you're almost out of gas. Might as well to go for it. If you go back, your gas is out, and you will not reach to where you're at the pretty much. But I feel like the possible thing to for them to do is maybe go to the sidewalk, just stop. And yeah, I know there is someone there that is unconscious, but then again, things are going a little bit too weird, I would say. So yeah, actually, this is maybe that's why this got upvoted by many people because of how you try to survive this situation. But if you think about it, really there's nothing much you can do anyway. So you're just as helpless as the character portrayed in this SCP. So yeah, you thought that you know how to handle things, but you just don't. So yeah, this a bit uh it's a bit rough situation. Also, the fact that there is someone there as well that is unconscious. It just, I would say, worsen the situation, which is not everyone can handle that pretty much. Yeah. Okay. So um yeah, Sam says he's going to keep driving. That's all we can do at this point. Also, by the way, it's already 20 minutes. I will read one more paragraph over here, and that's pretty much it. Jared's dead, and we're out of gas. The car died maybe an hour ago. Jared maybe half an hour after that. No idea where we are. We decided to double back, see if we. I mean, that's not a funny thing, especially when this happens to you. That's an awful thing. So I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to laugh at it. I'm laughing at the irony pretty much of how difficult the situation is, and it's pretty much just like any movie, like survival movie, right? So yeah, no idea where we are. We decided to double back, see if we had passed the hospital again, but there was nothing. Isabel and Mike are going at it, each convinced this is the other's fault. Sam's ignoring them. She's sitting by Jared holding his hand. She hasn't looked away from him since he stopped breathing. Hasn't said 10 words since we left town. Okay, so for to keep in touch with things. So there are five people here. Margaret, Sam, the driver, and then Sam, the driver, and then the two people being Isabel and Mike that are pretty much going against each other. Okay. And then after that, um, there's obviously the Jared that I forgot. What? How did Jared died again? Isn't Jared the one that opened the door? I think. Yeah, I think Jared is the one that opened the door. Um. Okay, wait. Who opened the? Yeah, Jared and said, "Why are you in my house?" Okay, so Jared got thrown across the room, and that killed him. Okay, that's actually interesting. Okay, and all right. So, uh, okay. So where we can Jared's dead. Yeah, hasn't said 10 words since we left town. This is actually interesting, SCP. I I can feel how horrible the situation is, and it's just uncomfortable, like maybe you're trying to get out of the town, but again, maybe the same thing happened inside as well. Like people outside, they try to go in. However, they end up being at the other side of the town. So think about it this way. Maybe they also tried to go out and they arrived at the border of the town and they got sent back into the other side of the town, pretty much still inside the town. So maybe that's that. I'm not sure, but that'll be for another episode. Unfortunately, that's all the time that I've got for this one. It's been 25 minutes already, and yeah, like I said, 20 minutes is kind of the cap. Over 5 minutes is okay. 10 minutes, 30 minutes is pretty much the cap for it, like the maximum. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Racer, random SCP review of SCP-3300, also called as the Rain. This SCP is interesting. It has so much to it. It has so much, it's something mysterious, and as you can see by the bar over here, we're just halfway through it. Hopefully next one we can get a huge chunk of the story that we can cover, and that's pretty much it. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again in the next episode of Razor random SCP review in the 18th entry of part 3. But until then, see ya.